Hello everyone, AmyR here with Prairie Paper and Ink, and for today's Christmas card, I am the hostess at the Color Throwdown Challenge, which I will have linked on my blog. And on the blog, I will have my inspiration photo, which will make this card make even more sense. But anyway, the color challenge ended up being purple, green, kind of an aqua blue, and black. So I started off with some Tim Holtz Distress watercolor paper, and I had the smooth side facing up. I don't think it really matters. But I had the smooth side facing up, and then I'm just smushing some distress inks onto a piece of like acetate or transparency, plastic, whatever works. And then I sprayed it with just a little bit of water, and then I'm pressing it onto this watercolor paper. And by using the transparency, it just gives me a little bit more control. I've shown other videos in the past where I'll smush all my distress inks onto a craft sheet and then put the cardstock onto it, smush it and press it, and it creates these fun effects. But when you do it that way, you don't really see where the color is going or what's going to happen, which is fun. But for this, I wanted a bit more control. And I used Wilted Violet and then Broken China. And then I'm adding some Twisted Citron. And you see in between each set of colors, I am drying it with my heat tool, especially before I go on to the Twisted Citron, because when you add green to purple, it goes muddy really quickly. So I added just that little bit of green, and then I quickly dried it before it really had a chance to get all like muddy and gross looking. And once I was happy with that, I pulled out some basic rectangles dies from Simon Says Stamp. And then the birch tree window die, which I have been wanting to use since I got it weeks ago. I've had so many ideas for this die. So I ran that watercolor piece through with one of the smaller rectangles dies, which wasn't necessary. Like I could have just trimmed it down with, my paper trimmer, but ran it through with my die because it was right there. And then I took a piece of white cardstock and I die cut with a larger rectangles die as well as this birch tree window. So it creates this fabulous window with, the tree elements. And while I had my big shot out, I had a scrap of some just green glitter cardstock, and I'm running that through with the Simon Says Retro Deer wafer die, and then a piece of black cardstock with the Believe word die. So I set those aside, and then I grabbed this original piece with the birch tree window, and I'm going to pop out all of these center pieces. So I've got my window here, and that's going to go over that splattery watercolor background I created. Then I'm going to pop out this little deer from that green glitter cardstock. And then I also pulled out the little Snow Flurries dies and die cut some surf blue cardstock with those. So then to assemble my card, I adhered the watercolor piece directly onto my card base, which is heavyweight white cardstock cut to 4 1/4 by 11 and scored at 5 1/2. So it's a top folding A2 size card. And then the birch tree window, I adhered over that with some foam tape, so it gives that little bit of dimension and some shading. And then for this Believe die, I looked at it and I could have stacked this, like die cut it, what I normally do, like 3 or 4 times from black cardstock, stack them all together. But I decided instead, because this die isn't as finely detailed as some word dies, there was enough width that I could adhere some clear foam. So I'm using my Cool Tack clear foam here and just trimming it down a bit with my scissors. And just applying that to the widest areas of the sentiment, so it didn't take very long. And then adhering that, and it gives a different look. It really does look different when you stack a sentiment and versus when you adhere it with foam. You get a little bit more shadowing and that sort of thing. So I just thought it would just look really nice, like that kind of floating there. So I did that, and then I adhered the glittery die cut deer just flat to the birch tree window. And then these little snowflakes, I just used 3 of them, and I adhered those with some multi-medium matte adhesive from Ranger. And of course, I had to add some sequins as well to bring the colors a little bit more, since the purple wasn't as prominent as I liked for this color challenge. So I grabbed some Pretty Pink Posh. These are the 4mm amethyst sequins. And then, of course, I haven't used these in a while, though. I keep saying of course, as if everyone just knows my mind, but I do follow certain patterns. So anyway, I pulled out the Pretty Pink Posh Sparkling Clear Mix sequins and just kind of sprinkled them somewhat randomly on my card front here, as well as even on the background, and then adhered those into place with that same multi-medium matte adhesive. And then to finish off the inside, I grabbed this sentiment from the Color Me Trees stamp set. And the word Christmas, I inked it up with both of the distress inks, the Wilted Violet and the Broken China. And you can kind of see better in the picture at the end. So it's got like a multicolored sentiment there. And then the first part of the sentiment I inked up with the Twisted Citron. So I just kind of worked with this, since it says have a colorful Christmas. And then those remaining little snowflakes that I had already die cut, I adhered to the inside, and that finished off my card. So at the end of the video, I will have a couple more videos linked if you missed them, as well as my blog post will be in the description box below the video. I'll have a inspiration image for this color challenge, as well as a link to the post if you guys want to play along, links to all the supplies used, all that info will be in the description box below the video. So thank you all so much for watching, subscribing, thumbs upping, and commenting on my videos. I really appreciate it, and I will see you all very soon in the next one. Bye.